Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin right around 56,000. Ethereum down approximately 5%, down to about $2,400. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, some of them coming down to a little bit of a lower level. We have Caspa coming down. We have Injective, Maker, Lido, and a few others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project, one altcoin that has been showing some strength at horizontal levels, and that project is called Maple. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this crypto market. We see that the market cap has been slowly rising to the upside, very, very little. However, the issue is that I don't see much trading volume into this rise. And as we see, we could be seeing that the overall market cap does roll over, and officially, classifying this relief as a dead cat bounce. Now, obviously, that would be super, super bearish. However, at the same time, we could be using this as a bullish confirmation low, perhaps getting a higher low throughout the market. Bitcoin especially, Ethereum especially, getting a higher low, even a double bottom would be good. Guys, at worst case scenario, we'll make another lower low. What could we do, right? Obviously, we want to see some data to suggest where we're going with the next move. The bears should be coming in for a response for the relief, and if the bears still have some strength, we want to see where their strength basically ends, and we want to see where we could be getting that pivot point back to the upside to reclaim previous price action. At the current level, we do see Bitcoin doing okay. Again, a bit of relief. It's still down approximately 16% in the last 7 days, but this little relief is doing pretty good, and we see a lot of the altcoins getting that relief to the upside. But in the last 24 hours, we can see a bit of negativity. Now, it's not drastic just yet. I do feel that ultimately the lower time frames are going to give us a dip, and like I mentioned before, we don't know how low we're going to go in this short-term dip. But again, we're going to be using that as a data point for looking for divergences and weaknesses from the bears to see that the bulls are coming in and getting the ball in their court. Currently, this is where I feel like we're going to be seeing the market get into, especially as we lead into the weekend, midweek here. This is where things kind of shift. This is where we should get the majority of the volume, and then leading into weekend, we should kind of cool off a little bit. We are seeing dips, Cardano coming down a little bit, but generally speaking, this is the name of the game, is the trend is your friend. We have been coming down. Now we got a bit of relief, and now are we going to come down for another low? And this is what I'm afraid of here in the next little while. Obviously, guys, I will be accumulating. I have bought a little bit of a dips on the last major dip and retracement. Now, all of a sudden, we might coming back down to test those bottoms. I will be accumulating more and building positions over time, because ultimately the next data point should give us that confirmation, and then that confidence to deploy more capital, heavier bags, bigger bags. And as we build structure at these levels, we can start introducing clear stop losses, tightened up stop losses to mitigate all kinds of risk, because you don't ever know what's going to be happening in the geopolitical space, the traditional economic space. And at the end of the day, you want to be able to protect yourself because of the volatility that could be coming around the corner. We do see a lot of good projects getting some relief. This is it. Obviously, if you bought the bottoms, congrats, you're doing pretty good. But again, as you can see in the last 24 hours, we are getting a bit of a negative dip. I would say between 1 to maybe 5% maximum, more or less. You could see that while Lido is coming down a little bit more than expected, and then we have Brett coming down, but these are more volatile projects, of course. Meme coins and such will have a little bit more volatility, and the smaller market cap projects will also have that volatility. And as I scroll through the market, you can see that the little fractals here on the right-hand side are pretty much the same across the board, no major anomalies. And this is the name of the game, guys. We want to wait for the volatility to kind of simmer down. We want this uncertainty, this FUD, this fear that we have in the market to kind of like simmer down and ultimately find its true value. We want these projects to find their true value and let them simmer down a little bit. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and let's see what Bitcoin has to offer us for today. Bitcoin at the end of the day is still within a nice structure. It is a broadening wedge, a descending broadening wedge. It's a megaphone pattern, and technically speaking, it does resemble many capitulation events of the past, particularly the black swan event that COVID did bring. It looks very similar, and we do see a buy up that is also very similar at the bottom of the range. The question is, are we going to eventually break out bullish from this pattern, or are we going to be coming down for a little bit more of pain? Let's continue looking at this Bitcoin price here for a second. Now, ultimately, using fractals of the past is not a bad idea. It just gives you a sense of what could happen. There's no guarantees. Obviously, the market doesn't guarantee anything. We just use the TA to give us a bit of an edge, right? That's all it is. There's no guarantees or certainties. This is not, a crystal ball where you're going to go in here and get actual, targets. And, there's some people that misunderstand what TA is all about, right? We look at TA just to give us a bit of an idea. Obviously, fundamentals are important. We start looking at, even economics in general, our global environment, what's going on in the world is obviously an indicator, but you cannot deny the fact that supply and demand that creates these charts cannot also be an indicator. And at this point, we can see that the buy up, the recovery at this level is an indication that people liked the price at 48, 49, 50, 51, and all the way up to where we are right now to about 56K. You can see that people have been buying in the short term. Now, what about also in the short term that we do get a bit of a dip and a continuation down just a little bit to kind of, confirm some of these horizontal levels as support? Wouldn't it be nice to come down to about 52,000? I know it's a dip, 52,000 more or less, maybe 52,500. Come down to this level, back test it, do not get any wicks, get a nice rounded bottom, confirm it as support, and start trailing right back to where it came from, getting back to about 72K, whatever, price discovery, all that, really bullish target levels. Now, ultimately, that would be amazing, right? Because we did get a nice confirmation. We got a nice accumulation range here at the bottom. That's exactly what we want. But a lot of people will come up very fearful and not understand what exactly that would mean for an accumulation, for a bullish accumulator that wants to be buying the dips. Now, ultimately, yes, of course, Bitcoin has been doing really great. Guys, big picture, guys, you know that Bitcoin has come down from a really bottom price. We're still talking about a $56,000 Bitcoin at the current moment, and we could easily get back to these levels, in a couple of days, no big deal. But ultimately, are we buying the dips at this level? Let's get into lower time frames just in a second, just too quick to kind of see what's happened. You can see why I'm a little bit hesitant here. Now, we could get a bull flag, get another continuation, no doubt. We could get just a little bit of a ABC correction, come down just a little bit. Very possible. All of this is very possible, but I want to be prepared for the possibility that we get oversold once again. Even to confirm another bottom here on the momentum. The momentum only got one touch, and another touch or another little confirmation low would be great. It doesn't have to come down drastically. I just wanted to be able to confirm that the bears are weak. And there's enough data here to suggest that both impulses are diverging from one another. At this current moment, there's no real indication of that. So I'm very hesitant deploying more capital into the market. If you look at the daily, for example, you can see that there's only one touch on momentum. Momentum only got down to the oversold conditions. Volatility is also oversold, but I want more data. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing this get into more of an extreme oversold state, although it did kind of quickly get in there. But look at the last time I did that. Quickly got in there, got a pop, bit of relief, and then come back down. Confirmation low, higher low. Great bullish divergence. Let's get going. That's exactly what I want here. Now, it would be too perfect to use this fractal and imagine it work out exactly as it did in the past. But you never know. At least some variation of this would be really good. Now, if you look at the trend oscillator, for example, we're still facing down. which is obviously very concerning. EMAs are facing down, red histogram bars to the downside. We do have the blue expansion suggesting that we're still expanding to the downside on the daily, but on the lower time frames, once again, we could be looking for a bit of a reversal. EMAs facing up, green histogram bars to the upside, looking good on this move to the upside. But the daily, when is the daily going to continue fulfilling its move? This is my major concern. We've got a bit of relief already. Is this going to be done in the short term and then come down and see the daily get one more impulsive move, fulfilling its destiny to the downside, and then finally getting divergence so that we can see that the daily is done pushing down? That's what I really want. That's what will get me bullish. That's what will get me deploying a lot more capital. Keep in mind, I already did DCA down here and bought some dips 2 days ago or a day and a half ago or so. And now all of a sudden I'm waiting to deploy another good portion of capital at these levels if it does give me that opportunity. And of course, we know that here in the crypto space, there's tons of opportunities, guys. Don't feel like you need to FOMO into positions, because you always get opportunities, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins or new projects that exist. There's always opportunity. All right, guys, let's take a look at an opportunity that I do see here in this market. Obviously is based on the real world asset narrative, and I do talk about Maple quite a bit here on the channel because I have been obviously looking at the price action, and the price action has been respecting a lot of the TA, so I have to give it a lot of value here based on how it's been behaving. And you can see it's a very healthy behavior despite what's been happening in this market in the last 3 days, 4 days. Guys, we have been seeing Maple hold up like a champion. And these are projects that are showing strength. Yesterday we talked about Okta, another project that has been showing strength. And to be honest, there are a lot of projects that have been recovering and showing strength at horizontal supports despite the negativity in the market. And Maple is one of them. And of course, as a low cap project in a hot narrative, this is one to keep an eye on. Obviously, not financial advice, guys. Do your research, do your deep dives, get fundamentally bullish. But ultimately, from a TA perspective, the horizontal support at about $11.50 is being respected very, very nicely. And you can see that we got this black swan-ish type of event. And despite that event, you can see that the buy orders just bought it all up. The dip came down and it said, no, we're closing candles, opening candles, and continuing to close candles above the horizontal support. Guys, this is a sign of a very bullish thing. Now, again, it could be possible that we've, come down through that volume gap once again. There is an empty space here. You can see that based on the volume profile. And if you look left, based on the price action, only one little consolidation right here at about $9.20 could act as support going forward if it does fall. Likelihood is that if we fall bearishly, we are below the 200 daily EMA. I'm very, very aware of that. We've been below that before, and we got above it again. We're just waiting for the daily to show some bullishness because the daily has been very bearish for the last few weeks, and ultimately we want to see a big bullish response. As a swing trader myself, I don't trade the 15-minute. I trade the daily, trade the 4-hour. I want big picture moves. I want double-digit dips and double-digit gains, and the only way to do that is to be patient with the bigger structures on the higher time frames. And you can see what's happening here. Now, of course, there's obviously a bearish thesis. This is a head and shoulders formation. Very clear head and shoulder formation. Now, if we do break the neckline with some significant volume, which we have done, right around this level, we have done that based on the black swan-ish event, let's say, it did happen, but the market didn't have it. I don't believe in this wick because it was basically induced by, factors that were beyond control in the sense, right? They were just factors that fell onto the market and just dragged the market down. So the reality is that this wasn't really an invisible hand type of scenario. It was an over-exaggerated emotional event that caused the price to fall, and the market took full advantage of that price. And based on demand, we do see that the supply wasn't enough, and to the point that the price went up, back above horizontal support. That is bullish. Now, bearish obviously falls through the volume gap. Be prepared. Buy the dip, $7.71. It's all about preparation. It's no certainties here, but if it does happen and you happen to buy this green arrow and you happen to fall through, be prepared to DCA at these levels, because this is where a lot more liquidity lies. And if we do come down, we could be hunting more of these bags at this level, and we have to see how many of these people are actually long-term holders, or how many of them have weekends, how many of them are going to sell on a loss, capitulate, manipulate, however you want to phrase it. We want to see what kind of weakness is at this level, and then ultimately to see if there's when the strength comes in from the bulls, to see a reversal pattern, a structure. But as we speak, as long as we stay above $11.40, more or less, give or take. I know the wicks bring ambiguity, but we have to understand where those wicks came from. You know what? We're doing okay here, and it does look strong. And given the fact that the daily might be looking for a bigger pivot to start up again, because we've been coming down for so long, imagine this becoming a pivot point to the upside. Remember, head and shoulders formations, whether they be inverse or regular like this one, only get bearish when they break the neckline, because what that really means is that you're confirming a lower low. Technically speaking, yes, we did make that lower low, but the buy pressure made it turned into a wick that makes it ambiguous and makes it a little bit untrustworthy. So I'm looking at bodies at this current moment because the price went back up above the horizontal. So if you understand my logic here, it kind of makes sense. As long as we stay above here, we're still doing good. I do expect that the market reverses, and I expect that Maple, because it's part of a major hot new narrative that a lot of people are talking about, and the market cap is so low and the project is decent, I feel like Maple could be one of those major gainers for this bull run. So in the next little while, what I'll be looking at is projects that are showing strength and giving us opportunity to get in with low market cap, but at the same time showing strength in the price action so that we can anticipate a healthy recovery when the market runs back up. Guys, Maple's looking good, guys. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning materials. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.